Hello, my name is James and I'm going to show you my van. This is where I live when I'm not driving for 70 plus hours a week. So I'm going to show you the back of it, not the front because it's just the regular front, but we'll show you the back. Let's have a look. So my van is a 2009 Volkswagen Crafter. All right, let's open her up and have a look. All right, as you can see, it's a fairly modest kind of build, nothing fancy. I've even got cardboard blocking the glass between the area and the living quarters, but nothing too fancy. We've got a filing cabinet for things. Let's have a look. It opens and unlocks with a key, so that way the drawers don't go flying everywhere. But in the top we've got some sort of pantry style stuff. So I've got here, rice and cleaning spray and some soup. I sort of buy what I need when I need it. Then I've got clothes. Level 3, I've got more clothes, drone, hat, etc. Level 4, dishwashing powder and just extra things like iron and spare linen. And then that just locks back up again. We've got a very modest sort of wardrobe over here. Space for my shoes. I've got my soda stream for sparkling water. And then I have my bed, which is currently in a lot of day mode. On the wall here, I've got a I think it's a 24-inch, could be 27-inch computer monitor. That's connected to 240 volt power. I'll show you that in the garage. Currently I'm charging my drill battery. If I have a seat just here, we can have a look at what it looks like from this throne. Hello. I've got a very modest kind of lighting situation. I've got 4 LED light strips. They do a really good job lighting up the area, especially above the bench. I have a dimmer switch. I have it over on that side because when I'm lying in bed at night, I can turn off the lights when I want to sleep. But then, yeah, in here I've got, cutlery and odds and ends and things. And in here I have a microwave. And then I have an inverter. I've got my lunchbox. Again, very modest. Pot and pan, 1 or 2 plates, a bowl. Then I've got some water, olive oil, dishwashing liquid, fire extinguisher, and this is a pop-up sink and drying rack. So if I want to wash my dishes, I can. So as you can see, it's a fairly modest situation. I don't want to spend too much money on the van because I don't know what the future looks like for my living situation. So I don't want to spend any more money than I need to. So the van cost me $13,000 and all the extra little bits and pieces, the fridge, the solar panels and all that kind of stuff sort of, let's say roughly is an additional $1,000. So most of the stuff I've sort of bought fairly cheap and on Facebook Marketplace or on eBay or something like this. But yeah, it does the trick for me. Now I'm going to convert the bed into night mode so you can see what that looks like, because it's a pretty cool little operation. Plenty of videos on YouTube with van builds and things like that where people have done different things. I wanted to utilize the height space a lot better. I'm just too short to sleep comfortably width-wise along the van. I think I'm maybe 10 centimeters too short for a comfortable sleep, so I wanted to sleep lengthways, but I didn't want to sleep in a single bed. I wanted a comfortable bed. This is a queen-size bed. And I just wanted the design to be as efficient with space as I possibly could. So therefore I'm able to fold this mattress. It's just a tri-folding mattress, and the bed slides in and out, so it's in a permanent position at the moment. Now the reason why I did it like this is because the wheel arches are kind of at this point, so there's nothing really I can sort of do too much with building stuff over those wheel arches, because obviously it's a little bit narrow. I thought this was the best use of the space, was to use the space from the wheel arches to the back of the car as a back of the van rather, as like a garage kind of area, and then above I can keep that as my bed. Like this space just here, I can use this as like a in situ bench. You know, if I'm cooking dinner or whatever like that, I can put bowls or plates, whatever, up here. Same thing on top of the mattress. I can sort of put bags, clothes for the day, whatever I'm doing. So I have a lot of space here. I don't have a sink in the bench. I was going to, and I still might, but the space that I have on the bench is actually quite user friendly, if you know what I mean, because I have so much more bench space for it. But yeah, let's have a look at what the situation looks like into night mode. Okay, so the first thing you got to do is make sure there's nothing along the bench, and I have this chair situation, so we just need to detach this, and then that can sort of fold down like that, and then this is where the bed will go along the railing. So I got to move everything out of the way so it's clear, and then I can just pull it like so. Like that. That's all I need to go. I don't need to go any further. And I can pull the mattress, and then the mattress just comes up like so. And then I can adjust it if I need to, but that's the mattress there. And then I just pull the bed sheet down, and I'll do that now. Okay, so here we are here in night mode with the bed made up. All my linen's currently being washed, so there's no pillow or no bed sheets, but the doona's there. And then yeah, I just climb up into bed. I have a monitor here that I can pivot around that's connected with Apple TV that I can Bluetooth my headphones to, so I can listen to the sound coming out. But yeah, that's the night mode. So we'll go around the back and have a look at what it looks like. So here we are here in night mode. As you can see, still got plenty of room. I can sort of sit up lying in bed without hitting my head, and the pillow sort of leans up against the pillar here between the two doors, so I'm not sort of pressing up against the glass. But that's the night mode. Anyway, let's go down below and have a look at what's going on in the garage, as we like to call it. So in the garage we've got power. This van is currently being powered by solar panels. So you can see on the roof just here, I've got 3. There is a 200 and then a small 100 at the front of the van connected, that runs through that white little box just there, and then comes underneath, and then it goes down through the car itself, and then pops out under the side into this King's battery box, inside which I have a 100 amp hour battery. And at the moment, because the sun's going down and I'm charging with the inverter, which is this guy up here, I'm currently using, that's why it says out, 1.89 amps. It's a very modest monitor, so it tells you what's going in, what's going out. And I currently have connected this double adapter cigarette lighter, one of which is powering the lights, and then the other one is powering my fridge, which is currently at 7 degrees. I find that's a good temperature for all the things that I need. And then I've got a couple of USB plugs there for quick charging my phone, my laptop, etc. And then I have the 2000 watt power inverter that's connected up through these big giant chunky cables. And that's what powers the microwave and my induction cooktop. Does a pretty good job. And I've just got some double adapter power leads that lead to that power board that's on the wall, that I can isolate and turn off things that I don't need to save on electricity. And then yeah, I turn it off and on from here. I can just reach my hand down from up above and then turn the lights off or the TV off from above. And then I've got my suitcase. I've got a toolbox, which usually lives in that spot there. I'm just trialing this rail rack system for milk crates. So I've got my toolbox and hose there for work, and that sort of just slides up into these bits of wood, keeps it out of the way, and I hopefully don't go over too many bumps and they don't fall out or break. So, but actually I have so much more room in here. Let me just put that toolbox away properly. So as you can see, I've got all this space here. I used to have the milk crate in this spot here, but I'm trialing it up the top so I can utilize the space a bit better. But then, yeah, when I have the Uber Eats, which I do as a side hustle, on the front seat, I can put a lot of groceries around the back here, as well as anything else. Maybe if I want to buy a bike, I can put a bike in the back here. Later on, I do wish to buy a different fridge, so I'll turn this fridge into a freezer, and then I'll have a fridge as well. So I'll have two, one for a fridge, one for a freezer, so I can go off the road a little bit longer. But yeah, that's my basic setup. Does the trick. One thing I just forgot to show is the refrigerator. So the refrigerator is here. This is where I keep all my lunches and stuff. I'll take this out onto the road when I drive for Greyhound up to Mount Isa. It plugs into a regular cigarette lighter so I can keep my lunches cold to save on money, so I don't have to go spending things that I don't need to spend money on. This is my home. This is what I do. I'm currently toying with the idea of I want to be able to have this chair a little bit closer to this bench, because I can use this bench as a work table and type with my laptop, and then plug my laptop into this computer monitor. And later on, if I decide to travel around Australia, I can hook a Starlink satellite onto the roof, and I can do work from my laptop. I have a second monitor, so I can do remote work or whatever works. So yeah. But that should just give you a basic idea of my van and my living situation. And I hope to show you a lot more videos out on the road on adventures in the van, because I think I got a pretty good setup. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing too fancy. The only other thing that I need to do is I need to put a vent into the roof of it, because in the summertime it's going to get very, very hot. So that is something that I am looking into. But at the moment, it is currently winter in Australia. I've got a thick duvet on top of the bed, so I can get a hot water bottle or whatever like that to keep myself warm. But yeah, the most important thing for me is to stay warm, but in the summertime, the most important thing will be to stay cool. So I need to get fans, I need to get vents, etc., etc. So watch this space. So I'll be adding to that, to the van whenever I have the opportunity to. But let's turn everything off, and that'll be the end of this video. Thanks very much for watching, and talk to you on my next adventure towards Coast Fi.